Hello, hello, hello. It is, today is Tuesday, February 8th, 2022, 4:49 p.m. I think I should always start my video with this because I think it's important, one never knows. This data might be necessary at some point. So, but anyway, we came back to this house yesterday afternoon. It was still light outside, which was good because we introduced Elon to this property and to the garden, and we did several garden rounds with him. And my nerves at that time were so shot already that I was just a complete nervous wreck. And the reason why is because everything is way over my head exhausting, everything. Like whenever there is too much stress, my brain cannot take it at all. That's always been like this, okay? I have Asperger's. I'm hypersensitive. My nervous system gets overwhelmed. I also want to talk about The Horse Boy again. I already talked about The Horse Boy, the book, in another video. But The Horse Boy and I want to get more into the details of it. The Horse Boy and I have exactly the same type of nervosism. Like in the sense of getting overwhelmed, in the sense of getting like angry and throwing fits. And my life, I was exactly when I was 6 years old, I was exactly just as getting overwhelmed as he was when he was 6 years old. The Horse Boy is now in his 20s. His dad, Rupert Isaacson, wrote his book about his son Rowan when Rowan was still a child, and they also made the documentary when Rowan was still a child. They made the documentary film actually like before he wrote the book, I guess. I guess he was probably gathering notes and writing already, but kind of simultaneously. So they made this amazing documentary film, The Horse Boy, and amazing book, okay, with the same title. So amazing people are those. He and his wife, incredible. They're both amazing people, and the son. All three of them are amazing people. And they really helped him, They did my parents tried too. That's why they sent me to Annalise when I was 5 years old. So when I threatened my mother with a kitchen knife, that's when she knew something wasn't on the right track there. Okay. So jealousy of my brother and mad at my mother and for being mean and cold and all of that, ignoring me and all of that. That made me so mad as a child already, Wow. So, see, that's what happens. My body doesn't allow toxicity in my life to hurt me, or my body doesn't allow any kind of negativity or toxicity or whatever, harsh energies or harsh communication. My body doesn't allow that to cause me problems. So my body always pushes against it. My brain and body, my whole energetic field pushes against it and freaks out and gets mad and throws a fit and get nervous breakdown, get overwhelmed, but make it hard for the other people, really hard. So I don't take it in, okay, so never did, which has always been my lifesaver, okay, and always will be my lifesaver. So at some point, it took me a long time until I finally realized my mother is toxic. I have to end it with the conversation. I already knew I had to move far away from her, but then I was still stuck with her on the phone in LA. Spent a lot of money on long distance conversations before the internet, and then we had the internet, we had Skype, like hour-long conversations, sometimes 3 hour long. I think the longest was 4 hours. My dad was like, why in the world do you guys talk so long? And it long because of a struggle. The struggle. She also needed someone to talk to. She doesn't really have anyone intimately to talk to. Okay. So I'm like I've always been the only one who wanted to intimately talk to her for many, many hours. But then it ended to be a struggle. So I'm struggling for her to see. But she can't see it. Yeah. She can't see what I see. Because she's in resistance towards it. Terrible, terrible resistance. So I finally ended that. Okay, so when we got the Papa dog, those were the last couple of conversations with her on Google Hangout. And then I said, that's it. And in one of the last one, I think in the very last one, the very last one where I was actually talking to her. And then there were a few more, like Christmas, where, hello, we're celebrating, we're eating cake here. There wasn't really conversation. It was much like greeting or something. But the last one where I was actually talking to them, where I was expressing my worries about my brother squandering the money, was my brother there in the conversation. I just saw this wasn't going anywhere, that conversation. They weren't listening to me at all. So then that's what they have to do. They have to do what they have to do, to learn the hard way. If they don't listen to me, then they have to do that. So that was the case many, many, many times in my life, where I gave them really solid advice and they didn't listen to me, and then they had to learn the hard way, really the hard way. I told them, don't squander the money, no, don't give my brother all the money and then he's gonna squander it, and he's not even moving out of Berlin he's not even living with them full time, taking care of them. He's squandering as much as he can, okay? And so before that I have warned them about the gardener. They had an alcoholic gardener. I said, kick that gardener out. He's not doing any good for you. They toughed it out for another couple of years until he passed out there and he chased friends away with his meanness, and he didn't listen to me, okay? So, but the worst one was when I told my dad many times. I said, what you did there was your stairs. They have stairs that go up in a curve in a very old house that my grandfather had built in 1945, I believe. So World War II type of home, yeah. Fachwerkhaus in Germany, that's with the beams in between, and then they have chalk white masonry, and then the stairs goes up like this in a curve, and my dad thinking he needs to modernize it, and he needs to put a cutting edge, not just a cutting edge, but literally a cutting edge, a literal cutting edge, silver edge onto the edge of the stairs, molding it around. Some stairs were round because they were going around. So the edge of the steps, and then he would put the silver edge nailed on into the wood to make it extra sharp looking, literally sharp looking. Not my style. Also, mainly because I already foresee the problems that would come out of that. So I told him that was long before they were getting more decrepit with more and more hip and knee replacements. I said, man, why would you do this? Put the silver metal edge onto each step. What if you fall? You can hurt yourself really badly. It happened to both of my parents, but they didn't listen to me. My dad really shredded up his knee, falling down with his knee onto this edge, onto many edges, completely slashing up his knee. They had to do complete knee replacements, incredibly painful butcher surgery. My mother fell down, busted up one of her discs in her spinal cord. That took her a long time to recover from that. They didn't listen, So, but, at some point I knew I can't have a conversation with them. I can't, for me to have a conversation with people that is pleasant, people would have to be open-minded enough to actually listen what I say, okay? And to be willing to say, oh, yeah, let me see if that works. Let me see, let me think about this, let me explore, all right? Like the conversation between David Bohm and Jiddu Krishnamurti. That one went on for like 50 years. That was a real conversation, okay? A never-ending conversation, because I keep listening to them talking long after they are gone, long after their physical existences of David Bohm and Jiddu Krishnamurti. They came back in other existences, but in those existences, those conversations live on indefinitely if we have these devices indefinitely. I don't know. We can take them with us to Mars, and I will still listen to them falling asleep. So I have them on many different devices, and I will always have them on my devices. And I will always listen to them for the rest of my life, because they saved my life, okay? And those are real conversations where each person actually listens to the other person. One person talks, and the other person listens, and then says something, and the other person listens intently, and then the other person thinks about it for a while and says something, and they both have some moments of quietness in between where they really think about it. There's never any awkwardness. This is just like, this is a meditation, really, This is inwardness, an inwardness type of conversation meditation. And that's what I really call conversation. Together, versation. Together we bring our thoughts together, we think about what we have to say. I wished that had ever happened with my parents or Paul. It never did. It never will happen. Okay. And so at some point I have to come to the conclusion, so I can't talk to them anymore then, right? Nicola? Yes, you're right, I say to myself. And same with Paul. Okay. It will never really come to any kind of real conversation that is peaceful, without ego and anger, without panic or controlling. Well, that's what he did yesterday all day long, and that's what drove me over the edge again. Once we got here walking Elon through the garden, and at some point I lost it, and I just cried and cried and cried, and actually I howled, and this was some kind of howling of like I kind of, I had this mind state of, okay, so I realize now that I have to take action. I don't want to, I want to be taken care of. I want someone to take care of me, like almost everyone wants that, right? But this is not going anywhere, okay? This is stress. So I had to finally realize this isn't going anywhere. And I was crying out of exhaustion and anger, but I didn't want to let the anger out because we have a dog now. If we didn't have a dog, I would have gone into an angry rant. But now with the dog, I can't go in that angry rant. So it comes out in this like squealing howl of exhaustion, like feeling sorry for myself, like self-pity, like I'm at the end of the road. Paul doesn't listen to my advice and he stresses me the fuck out, okay? And it's been going on for so long, okay, for so long, that yesterday I just realized it. I realized this is not going any further, okay? It's not going any further. The way he trains the dog, I can't tolerate it. I don't like shock collars. I don't like these long line leashes. I don't like the hard tugging. I don't like the harsh harsh words, harsh sounds, like no, like like authoritarian, harsh sounds that he makes training the dog, and all of that is too aggressive for me. I don't like it. I cannot, yeah. I also realize I cannot have a pity type of dog. I just can't. I can't have a Great Dane either. I could never train a Great Dane. Or any Mastiff. Or any kind of muscular, strong, hyperactive dog. I could not. I have to admit it to myself, I can't. I can't be harsh with an animal. I can't do this, like, no, or, like hollering and tucking on the leash, and the dog would be all over me, all over the place. The dog would shred everything up. I'd be a total nervous wreck. No. The only dog, the totally only dog that I can handle is the European Basset Hound, not the other Basset Hound, okay? Not the American Basset Hound. The American Basset Hound is a little bit taller, they have a little bit longer legs, they have back pain, they have more health problems, they're a little bit more nervous, more hyperactive. No, I can only have the European thick-legged, sluggish, like a, I don't know, there's a word for that, more mellow, more content, more easy going, okay? The easy dog, okay? So I figure, through evolution we can, the European Basset Hound can evolve into a larger dog, but the same dimensions, the same thick legs, the same proportions, but become larger and even more placid, even more easygoing and content. Even as puppies, they won't shred anything, they just lie down on the couch. And they want to be held and cuddled and kissed. And I want to call that breed the easy dog. So that is my plan for the future. When I take one to Mars, or take several to Mars, and have some other people take some to Mars, then we can continue that bloodline and then breed them into, make them evolve into the easy dog on Mars. Okay, so that would be so much better. And then only have easy dog on Mars, and no other hyperactive. My nervous system. Okay, so my nerves can't. Absolutely, there's no way my nerves can handle this. And I particularly can't handle a person or an old man that is angry, hyper nervous, hyper ADHD, controlling, angry. I already said all of that in my other video after that on that day when Elon escaped. I made a good video about what's going on in my brain. I just rewatched the video. He wanted me to remove the video. I say no. That video stays because that video, I really brought it to utmost clarity what's going on here in our situation with my brain, with my mental illness, with my Asperger's. I have psychological, I don't know how to word this, overload moments where I just have to realize, okay, this is the lifestyle I can live, and this is the lifestyle I cannot live. So I have to become very crystal clear on how I can live and how I can't live. Okay, so I'm glad he has Elon. I'm so glad. This makes it also harder for me to leave now. In one way, it makes it harder for me to leave because I love Elon. I'm going to be missing him. But on the other side, it makes it easier for me to. He's coming back. I can't talk openly about this now. I have to figure out a way. But in some way, it makes it easier for me to leave because now he has Elon, and if I leave, then he will not be completely devastated. But there's one thing for sure now, that I know for sure now. I have to leave, okay? And he will say, if he heard me say this now, he will say, you only want to do this because you want a boyfriend. And that is not the case, okay? And probably the haters will probably insinuate and into that as well, or make assumptions about me as well. There's my baby. The harness fits well from Kenny. So yes, he is doing so well. Yes, he's doing so well. Look at the dog, how well the dog is made for this house. Fits with the chair and the rug and the two couches, same color. Great. He fits right in. Also at the other house too. So, and Paul will get a new van or vehicle. He can do that. He has money. He can do that, and he'll know how to do all of this. But I have to take the van. I have no other choice. Okay, so I've been thinking about this now over and over and over and over again. This has been going on for a very long time, and I'm making a video right now. Okay, so the deer were out there. That was very nice, and he's likes to be there by the balcony, just like the papa dog likes to be there by the balcony. And he has that nice couch now, and he can look out. It's very nice that he has the couch to look out. So yeah, I'm showing. Yes, so you can see him on the couch, looking out the balcony. Very nice. Yes. That is wonderful. That's very wonderful, is that? Yes. And the papa dog in the painting is watching over you and Kenny, the green ghost formation. That was the scene, a situation, a scenario when I was holding Kenny on the parking lot of the veterinarian on our last day together. Yes, and he was already transitioning there. That's why I made him green, ghostly. So that's the blue god. The blue god is watching over Elon. Yes, he is. And when we got the papa dog was sitting. This painting was still in progress, and it was upstairs in my studio. And I had it on the left wall, and we had this love seat upstairs, and the papa would get up from the love seat and he would go over and sit right underneath this painting that was in progress, but this was almost finished already. The Kenny formation, and the papa would sit there under Kenny, and he would stare at Kenny for like an hour. I was amazed. Papa would sit there like a sphinx and stare and stare and stare at the Kenny formation. And I said, yeah, that is the blue god. That's your father. That is your dad, because I I felt it instinctively. I know people are there, they're going to roll their eyes now. But I felt it instinctively that the Papa Dog was our child. He was the Blue God's child long time ago in India. So, and I was the Blue God's wife long time in India. My name was Yasodhara. And my baby's, the papa's name was Rahula. Yes, that's how it was. I'm not going to say any more because then I will get bombarded with hatred. And I don't want that to happen. So you do your own research, find out who these people are, then you'll know who the father is. Okay. So I haven't found out who his last incarnation was, but what I did find out is that he's a God level soul. He is a God level soul, even one level higher than the Papa Dog. Papa Dog is an angel level, and he is a God level soul. Unbelievable what he's been through, and he is so patient with everyone and everything. Patient. I wanted to make a video yesterday when we went to the horse, and I had him on the short leash, and I already knew that he may get scared of the horse. The horse was coming over, and he got really scared of the horse. He growled at the horse, wanted to lounge at the horse. Paul hollered at him. I said, don't, he's scared. I have to keep him on the short leash, and we tried to. I said, pet the horse, give the horse apples, show him that the horse is nice, but that didn't work. He was absolutely terrified of that large horse, so I had to put him back into the van. And so they have a horse boarding on the other side of the street. And the baby horse is growing bigger now. And suddenly I see an albino horse standing there. Oh my goodness. So on the way to the other house, we're going to stop at the horses, and I want to show my unicorn, the baby horse, and the albino horse. And I went over to the albino horse. I gave him 2 apples. He ate those 2. And that albino horse, a bit taller and fatter than the unicorn, more towards a draft horse, like a Percheron, that's what he looks like, with light blue eyes, and his eyes are kind of coming out, they're like bulging out. And I thought, what the heck is going on with this horse? And then I saw he had, something was bitten off the nostril on the side. I don't know whether that was caused by a bacterial infection or some injury, or a dog bit him, and that looked kind of infected, but it was scabbing. At least it was scabbing. But then we were so busy with Elon and then Paul going on my nerves. My nerves were so shot. And I could not, Paul just urged us to go, and then we didn't even go shopping. We just went straight to this house. I'm so glad, because I could not have handled any other thing, and hollering, and oh God, it's too much. Okay. So I had hydrated sodium bentonite clay in the van, which I could have put on the sore of the horse. The owners would not want me to do this, but I would do it anyway. I don't care. Even if they see me do it and come over, I would give them a long lecture, even if they get mad. The horse is more important than me being whatever afraid of these people threatening me or calling the... I don't care, you know. The horse is more important. But we were so stressed out and busy with the dog, keeping him safe, so we had to come back. But on the way to the other house, in a couple of days, I put the sodium bentonite clay into an easier tupper container. I'm gonna bring that with me, and I'm going to put a chunk of that, massage that, and pile that onto his sore. I've done that before with the unicorn horse, with my unicorn. You know, he had some sore on his eye. I put that on, it healed right up. Okay. I told the lady, his custodian, I don't call them owners. We met her once, we talked to her, I told her to use sodium bentonite clay on sores. I told she had a basset hound mix even, and two other like corgi type, no, those sheep dogs, herding dogs, and that they were way too hyperactive. She left those in her Jeep. She took the basset out, and we petted the basset out, and the basset had like a rash on the back, and I told her to wash him and put diatomaceous earth on massage into it. That could be mange. Diatomaceous earth will take right care of it, you know. That will heal up in less than half an hour. It's the truth. These are my two main panaceas, okay? Sodium, bentonite clay, and diatomaceous earth, okay? You can't go without those. Those are the most important remedies there are. More important than anything else. More important, that's the basics of holistic healing. You have to have that when you have an animal. And also for your own life, you know, you have to have that. That will take care of everything, really everything, internally too. You know, I take that internally. Very important to have that. So I will always have that, you know, I will always be living with that. That's a must-have. But on the way back to the other house, I'm going to bring the clay. I'm going to put that on the nostril of the albino horse. I will show you the albino horse with my laptop. I'm going to have to take the laptop outside of the van, walk around with that. I can't set that into the van because Elon is afraid of the horses and he would lunge at them. So we have to keep him in the van. So we have to make a lot of adjustments right now. But again, this situation here with me it's closing in now, okay? It's really closing in, and I feel really good that he has him, okay, as his companion and his protector. I feel very good about that. And I will probably stay in contact with him. I'll probably keep sending him emails and stuff. And I will urge him to get the papers filed for the divorce for his safety, okay? For his own personal safety on so many levels, okay? So that he is not responsible for me financially in any way whatsoever. He can get this completely off his table, you know. He can completely relax, you know. No Sai Baba no Hare Krishna lawyer will take his money. No cult member. He always accuses me of falling into a cult. So nobody will take his money. No boyfriend will come here and murder him, because once he filed the divorce, he is scot-free and a clean slate again, and completely has no responsibility for me whatsoever. There can be no claim to anything that he owns. I'm already not on his deeds. Okay, I already have absolutely no rights to any of his stuff, and I don't want to. Okay, I don't feel comfortable if I did. Okay, so, but any boyfriend or potential boyfriend who who thinks this is some kind of opportunity to snatch some money out of the situation, it isn't. Okay, like, want to make that very crystal clear. Okay, I have no money. Okay, not even, I have literally no money. I have not even a penny anymore. I'm not making this up. My wallet is empty. Completely. I'm also going to leave that here. I don't even need it. What do I need this for, right? All I need is the key to the van. That's all I need. I don't need the other keys. That's all I need. Okay, and I'm gonna put the key to the van onto a phone cord, and I will tie that, and I'll wear that around my neck. I really will. Okay, that will be my everyday necklace. The key to the van and the key to freedom. Okay, and not the key to my heart, but the key to freedom for me. And the van has a good heart too, so it's the key to the van's heart. That's how I will call it. Okay, and I really have no money at all, and I don't want to take his money, not even from the wallet. I don't want to. Okay, so I will take some food. I'll take my jackets, my possessions, whatever, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to do a bartending type of exchange with someone, like, I work for you for an hour, I sweep your house and you give me water from your well and a couple of loaves of bread. Okay, so, and the way I'm gonna be taking my diatomaceous earth and my kelp seaweed, I had to think about all of this, It took me a long time to figure all of this out, how I'm gonna manage it, because my life is kind of high maintenance. How do I bring this to a travel denominator, this entire stuff? So, luckily my hair isn't very high maintenance, so that's a good thing. But my health routine is definitely okay. I make my own skin creams. That's going to be very difficult to do in the van. But I have already a reservoir of that stuff that I'm going to bring with me until I find a situation in my life later on where I can make my own skin creams again, and artwork. I'm going to be missing paintings. I'm going to be missing my spaceships, my clay figures, my paint, my artwork process that I absolutely love to do every day. This is going to be very difficult in the van. And I thought about all of this, thought about that for years. I don't want to miss out on this. I don't want to, I need all of this. And then I say to myself, you need all of this on, on your nerves expense or something. Your nerves are gonna be, you're gonna be having nervous breakdowns and anger attacks and all of that. Is that worth it? Or can you plunge into the abyss, and can you just, it is a plunge, it's like, whew, I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, and then my brain goes into fire, and I think about the worst case scenarios, of course. But then I think about, maybe, but not just maybe, I know the blue god is watching over me. I know he is, okay? I will find a solution again. I will find something where I can make artwork. Okay, new opportunities will come out. And maybe I can help people. Maybe I can create the first therapy help center. As long as I live with Paul, it's not gonna happen. Okay. Even if I have my own greenhouse, and to get to that stage will take many years. Even if we go on my birthday into the desert, as he promised to do, and buy a piece of land, he's probably not going to buy a piece of land. Because he has to think about this. We would come back here. Then he thinks about this for a very long time. Like, let's say there's a property for 50,000 with 25 acres that has the potential to have geothermal springs underneath. No, instead of just making the deal right then and there on the internet, calling the realtor and saying, I want it. Let me give you my credit card number and we'll make the deal right now. Okay. Or let me make an offer right now. I offer you whatever, 50,000. That was like a little bit more than that. No, that's what an investor would do. He's not an investor. No, he will not just sleep one night over it. He will sleep half a year nights on it. And then he will just make the decision, now I will make the offer. And then he will make the offer. Sorry, someone already bought it half a year ago. You were like too late. You're half a year too late. Okay. So that didn't work out. Let's see. We'll find another one. We'll do the same exact mistake again. Yeah, it will. It's a miracle we even got these two properties here. That's a real miracle, even. So I couldn't believe it. But no, that's how he functions. Okay, so the only reason we got these two properties is because no one else wanted them. So, but I know out there in the desert, last time we went to the desert, he had this ultra good deal there, right, that he found. And we didn't even go to the hot springs, just to go back to that area and look at that place. And then he calls up, and it was just some kind of real estate bait that wasn't even available anymore. But they still used it like, oops, we just forgot to take it off the market. Oh, it's already taken. It was already taken long before he even found it. Those are called real estate baits, So to get the customers coming in, and then they'll take a much more expensive property from them. So yeah, people they use all kinds of trickery all the time. No, we need to learn from these mistakes. We already learned from those mistakes, but he doesn't learn from the mistakes. Okay, so I'm gonna make this brighter. Okay, so the sun is going down, but anyway, I already know we go in the desert. He's not gonna buy the piece of land. Joe Biden is running this country into the ground as we speak. The real estate prices are going to be falling, and he is going to be sitting on both of these properties for good. And, I want nothing to do with any of that. This pisses me off, okay? This makes me mad. And I'm much more assertive than he is when it comes to business type of deals. But that's not his fault. I guess I got that from my grandfather, who was more assertive in that way. We're not shysters, okay? We would never out-trick or outsmart anyone, okay? But we're assertive. So that's the only thing that was one of the good characteristics about my grandfather. He wouldn't let people walk on him like a rug, okay? So one time, I remember, I have to tell this anecdote. That's a good one. One time, long time ago, I was with my boyfriend Norbert at my grandfather's property, and we took the Great Dane, Mausespeck, we took him out for a long walk. And I was reckless at that time. I did all kinds of reckless stuff. Like I would ride the horse and have the dog follow us without leash. The horse would freak out because of something, and the dog getting excited, chasing after the horse and on the horse's heels, and the horse buckling me off, me ending up in a ditch and having a fibularis outer band rupture, or those kind of things, constantly in my 20s. I was a reckless punk, okay? But on that day too, reckless, Norbert was kind of punky too. We met in the punk bar. So Norbert was schizo, okay? And so we took Mausespeck for a walk without leash. We walked down the trail. It didn't take very long until we encountered people coming towards us with a German Shepherd. Their dog was also not on the leash, and they had a baby's trolley with a baby in the trolley. And I guess the husband was pushing that baby's trolley, the dog loose. The two dogs got into a fight right next to the baby's trolley. They were rocking the boat of that baby's trolley. I was looking at that with dread, and the mother was freaking out but not doing anything about it, okay? Like really coward. I thought, what a cowardly lady. I would throw my life into that to protect the baby. And so I just hollered for our dog. We got our dog out of that situation, and the dogs rocked, and I guess they put some scratches on the baby's trolley and messed the baby's trolley up. They made it a bit dirty, but the baby was okay. So we go back home, and like a week later, I happened to be there also. A week later, and the same people had come back, and they wanted money. And my parents are always very quick to give in. How much money my mother has given to people because of her giant schnauzer later on. What he had done was, oh my God, he had done a cascade of things. I wasn't there. I was already in LA, living in LA at that time. So, but at that time, we still had the Great Dane, and I happened to be there, and the phone rings. My grandfather picks up the phone, and I could hear him talk, and he said, "Yes? No? Who is that?" It was the couple with the baby trolley. And they said, "What happened there with your dog? They caused severe damage to her." I'm surprised they didn't claim some kind of whiplash, as they do here in the United States, coming with some kind of contingency lawyer. No, that's they don't know about that there. So that's luckily they have a cap on something like that. But they sure wanted money for the baby's trolley, and they said got all damaged because the dogs were walking against that. And my grandfather calmly said, "Bring over your baby's trolley. My gardener will fix it." I thought, whoa, I call that a strong business attitude. My parents, they would sure buckle under that. My parents would give them $300 for that, and there was only a light scratch and some spot on it, so it wasn't even damaged. So, and because my grandfather said that, bring it over, my gardener will fix that. They never brought it over because there was nothing to fix in the first place. So, see, that's, So he was really good with that. And he was also an animal lover. So what I didn't like about him and my mother is that they had a chip on their shoulder, and they didn't like anyone who was different than they are in a fashion type of way, or in a political type of way, or different lifestyle and different mind state. I was always very, very pursuing my own lifestyle, my own thoughts, very different. So autistic, they didn't like that. So they didn't like me for that, and they were mean to me. And my grandfather was also a little bit brutal, sort of authoritarian, like Paul is. Okay, so I didn't like that either. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not showing you. He's sleeping now. I wouldn't wake him up. Sleeping now. Sun, go ahead. Sun is going down, and there's Paul's recliner chair. Don't fall. Okay. Sun is going down, and the sky is peach colored. I don't know if it shows. Yes, there's my beautiful dog. Yes, protected by the Papa and Kenny, forever and ever and ever. Yes, forever. Yes, forever protected. But I don't know who his last incarnation was, so I haven't figured that out yet. But maybe it will come to me later on, so I can't sit there and force my mind to figure that out. This comes on its own, so these kind of things. But yeah, so anyway, another rant about my situation right now. Peace and love.